Selena didn't want to be quiet.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is Wednesday, May 26th. So who caught the super blood moon? I don't know why I was up at that time. I guess curiosity, we all want to be there for these certain milestones we have in our life. And I don't know how many lunar eclipses you've seen, but I think I can count maybe just on one hand. So to get up for those things is pretty cool, right? I think a couple more people are joining us. I really want to stand up. Okay, follow me. All right. You guys got to get one of these. These are so cool. We're letting more people in. So today is the middle of the week. We're almost at the end of the month. 5 more days. Tell me something good that I didn't hear from y'all on Monday. Somebody started off with some good news. Morning, Joyce. Kevin. Hey, Marcus.
Good morning.
Still joining. Okay, we're a little early. We're 2 minutes in. And we still got people coming in, so that's awesome. How are you doing this morning, Latasha?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you?
How's the Whalers office?
West Side is all that West Side can be. It's amazing over here.
West Side, Sunny Side. Okay, lots more people are joining. Awesome. Just gonna wait a couple more minutes. Not minutes, seconds. Minutes are so long. I would love to see your faces if you guys can jump on the camera.
I don't think you want to see my face this morning.
All right. So good morning. Has anybody had an amazing experience with someone from Keller Williams as another, like a co-op agent in the same company? I want to know what agent is standing out in our company. Who's had a recent closing on here? I see a lot of you. Don't be shy. Hi, Marianne. Okay, I don't
Morning.
There you go. Congratulations on your recent closings.
Oh, thank you.
Morning, Dean. Happy belated birthday, April.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Steve, good morning. Okay, a couple more people are still coming in, so. All right. Lisa's on her last leg of her vacation. And we're all still excited to hear what she's got to share with us. Good morning, Ray. So what do you guys think about the no masks in the outside? Look, Don, I have never seen you look so happy.
That's my one eye thing. Yay!
I can breathe again. Okay. All right. Aloha kakahiaka, everybody. Welcome to the Keller Williams Realty Maui Wednesday Company Huddle. Everybody stand up and go like this. Get that energy flowing. Come on, what are we going to do today? It's the end of the month. Let's push. Get each other motivated. All right. Even Steve's in the car and all that. Awesome. I hope you're parked, Steve.
Yeah, totally. Just dropped off the kid.
Sounds like you got the Transformers talking through your vehicle today. A little bit of a connection. I didn't hear you, but there you go.
All is well. Thank you so much, Stacey.
Awesome. So Don, tell us something good about the wealth building.
All right, so we had our first wealth building group meeting, not committee meeting, but actual group meeting. And I thought it went really well. We kind of went over basics of personal budgets, business budgets, um, calculating your net worth, setting up your P&Ls. And what we kind of decided is that each one of those really deserves a whole hour to go through so that we can get more detailed. So over the next couple of months, we'll start setting those up. We have our next committee meeting the beginning of June. So we're going to start organizing those and get them set up. But I would highly recommend joining them. You know, being successful in real estate is awesome, but the money you keep is more important than the money you make, right? You can make a ton of money, but if you blow it all because you aren't taking care of your expenses, you're not tracking your net worth, you know, all those things combined are what's going to make you wealthy. So one of the things we talked about was calculating your net worth. We do it every month, and every month I update our net worth so we know month to month to month how it's growing. So if you don't know how your net worth's growing, how do you know when you're going to be at a point where you can retire, right? So join us for these meetings. They're open to everybody. We're trying to keep them all an hour and shorter, but great information. And again, it's to help all of us become wealthy, right? And there's a difference between wealth and rich. You know, rich is fleeting, wealth is lifetime. So come get wealthy with us.
That's awesome, Don. I was on that that meeting with you all, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things. Everyone, we need to lead with profit first. And how do you know you're making a profit when you don't write it down, or it's not, you know, something that you can actually see and you can check on weekly. Some people do it daily or at least monthly. Type in the chat right now if you guys want to learn you know, about your profit and loss statement. I want to see a yes. How many people would want to know how to create one or to work on their profit and loss statement? Great. I see a couple people. All right. So Don, that sounds like one of the ones that we want to learn amongst the other things you've mentioned as we let other people in here. Marianne's trying to join us. Get her in here. Okay, great.
Stacey, can I interrupt for a minute? Don, can you communicate the time of the class and specifics? And because people had some questions about recordings as well.
Yeah, so I don't know if I recorded it. I didn't intentionally record it. I don't know if it is set to automatically record. And if it did record, I have no idea how to find it. So I would suggest just being there, just in case. We have not set the next one yet, but we're trying to do them later in the afternoon so people can be done with their, you know, their productive work and their proactive work, so you can be a little more focused on just the thing. So it'll probably be around 4 o'clock each time we do it. This first one was on a Monday. I don't necessarily know that it'll always be on a Monday, but that's kind of the gist of it right now.
Okay, great. Thanks, Don. Appreciate
And
that.
how do we find out about where, how to go to these meetings? Where do I look?
It'll be on the calendar and also on the daily emails you get, the Market Center emails. You'll have the links there so that you can find it.
And Carol, we'll work on a team email, you know, the Keller Williams Realty Maui email that blasts out to everyone, in addition to the links, right, Ray? We'll do an announcement email.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And Carol, you see in the chat here, let's see. Oh no, never mind, disregard that. All right, well, we've got a great show today. We are gonna go over some of the slides again, right, Latasha?
I thought we were gonna hear from Michelle Del Rosario. Has she joined?
Oh, there she is. Okay. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, guys. Aloha, good morning. So let me pull over so that I can be focused and present while I speak. I'm heading into town for an appointment. All right. So this morning, what I wanted to talk about was to tell all of our agents to be on the lookout for an email that'll be coming out today and in a couple of days, speaking to our new value-added service of a transaction assistant. So what does a transaction assistant do? Their full-time job is to do nothing but upload your fully executed documents to Command. So we will be sending out an email that will have the bullet points of how to title the subject, how to attach your documents, and the steps you need to take. And once you get it down, it'll be 2 or 3 steps. And every fully executed document you can email into the transaction assistant, who will then upload those fully executed documents to your Command file at no charge to you. And we're adding this service to further support you. For many of you, this will mean you no longer need a transaction coordinator. You'll do your own timelines, you'll work through your own transaction, but you'll have this extra added support at no cost to upload these documents to Command. We're also hoping that we'll do a couple things. One, it'll give your broker in charge access to your files in real time, wherever you are in the deal. And 2, it will help you get to compliance quicker and easier because your documents will already be uploaded in the proper spot, in the proper format. And then all you will have to do is submit those folders 5 days prior to closing for initial review and day of closing for final day of closing documents. I am super excited about this new initiative, and I hope you all will use it and benefit from it. The second item I wanted to talk about this morning is something that has been within Command for, I don't know, 15 months already, and it's a service called Porch. Is anyone on the call know what Porch is or used Porch to date? I can't see anyone's hands. So Stacy, can you see, is anyone raising their hand or stepping up?
I believe I've seen Dean, Dawn, and
I'd like an Angie's List.
It's kind of like an Angie's List. Yeah, we have a exclusive agreement with Porch, and that is within Command, within your opportunities. And when you are in the opportunity itself, it'll stay on the right-hand side. There's a Porch logo. If you scan your inspection report to Porch, within 48 hours, they will send you back an itemized estimate of the cost in Maui to fix those items. And they give you 2 estimates. One is item by item. And then the second one is a grouped with discount based on vendors. So let's say you have 8 plumbing items. They'll tell you item by item what it costs to have their plumber come out and fix those items. Or they'll group it. And if you just hire the plumber for all the items, they'll group it and give you a discount. I have used Porch. I first was introduced to it a year ago back at Family Reunion. And I used it at Family Reunion, and it's awesome. Now, they do market to your clients then for extra services like tradespeople, moving services, that kind of stuff. And you have to get your buyer's consent to use their inspection report to submit. But it's great because within 2 days, you get an itemized list back, and whether you use Porch and their vendors or not.
Oh.
You've got this data, which puts you in a position of power to negotiate repair credits, reduction in prices, those type of items. So if you haven't used Porch, I'd like you to revisit Porch. I'm actually going to do a class about Porch starting in July and some of our extra value services. So Dawn, I can hear you. You're not muted. Anyways, those are the 2 pieces I have for you today. Porch is a great service. It's free, gives you and your client a lot of value. And then also our new transaction assistant.
Thank you,
That's it for this morning.
Let's talk about that transaction assistant briefly. A couple more things about it. Now, it is strictly to upload your documents. So listen, all of you,
Correct.
You still need to go into, before the details are set out, I do want to remind you that this is your transaction, your Command system, your clients. So you need to open up an opportunity, right? You enter your contacts,
Correct.
an opportunity. That is going to be the agent's responsibility first and foremost, because the transaction assistant will not know where to go or what client you need to have serviced unless you open up the opportunity and tell them which one that's for. Okay, does everyone understand? All right.
And Stacy, there will be a strict format. So we're going to be having an instruction. There will be a format that goes in the subject line. So it'll identify to that assistant who the agent is and what the property is. And so every time you'll load the subject line in that format that they communicate out in the email, and then you'll attach your PDF fully executed document that you're going to check first. Make sure, do I have all my initials and signatures? Has everyone signed off? Has my broker reviewed it and signed off? Only when it's fully executed and complete will you then email it to be uploaded into Command. But it'll be as simple as if you're sending your opening documents to escrow, you'll just make your subject line what the TA needs, and then you'll just CC them their email. So when you're sending it into open escrow, you're just CCing the TA, but you're using her requirements or his requirements for the subject line, and boom. And once you get in the handle of doing it and you're just CCing them on every fully executed document that goes to escrow, bam, it's done. Super easy.
Super easy. Now don't CC them on all the communications. You're just sending them the documents. Okay.
Yes.
You want to make that clear. Just the documents that need to be uploaded to Command for compliance and so that you can get paid on time. That's the whole idea. All right. Now we've got a question in the chat on the second thing you talked about, Michelle, and that's porch.
Yes.
Will it work on the Big Island?
Yes, it's a national initiative from Keller Williams International. It's within Command. When you go into the opportunity, you've created and opened an opportunity. The porch logo is on the right-hand side, and you just click on it. And there's a video demo that shows you how to do it. And then there's instructions on how to do it as well. And it's free, and it comes back in 2 days.
I can say that I have used it and it did take about 2 days. And why do we think this is important? Why do you think that using this tool to help us find out how much it costs for a certain repair or something, why do you think it's important? Anyone?
Because it's impossible for the contractor to come out and do simple little jobs, small jobs. No one wants to do that, and all the contractors are super busy right now. So trying to get someone to give an estimate is like pulling teeth.
Yes.
Not very fun.
A great service to the clients.
There it is.
But we talked a lot about the timelines and about yesterday in our Ignite about expiring inspections, J1s. And so make sure that if you do this, you do it early on. Get your inspector the day you go into escrow. Get them set up and get this done. If it takes a couple of days, that's 2 more days to pushing towards your timeline.
So
great feedback, Andee.
Yes, Andee. So 14-day inspection or 21-day inspection period? What's more reasonable, right? Maybe you ought to ask and talk with the listing agent if you're representing the buyer. And will they be okay with that? Because they need a thorough inspection. Things go quick, and just see from them if it'll be okay, right? Any other ideas or suggestions on porch, Michelle?
No, I've used it myself. I actually used it, troubleshot it while we were at family reunion a year ago back, and it worked great. And my client loved it. And we, on one occasion, did use their vendors, and they were great. So for me, from a time perspective as the agent, not having to call 3, 4, 5 vendors to get all the estimates to be able to start to make decisions on, are we moving forward with the purchase? Are we going to make those repairs? Are we going to ask the seller to make those or give us a credit or a price reduction? Puts you in a power of negotiation, because I can then, with the buyer's consent, scan that porch report to the seller and the seller's agent and say, look, right here, it's $8,000 cumulatively. We've itemized it for you. And the seller can go in and say, I'm going to fix these items and I'll credit you for whatever. It just puts you with factual knowledge. And then the work they did was great. And it was quick and efficient. And I didn't have to call a bunch of different people. So it was really, really positive. And the fact they service Maui and they give us estimates on Maui pricing, they were able to beat some pricing on some of my local vendors that I use all the time. So I really encourage you to do it. It's one of the benefits of being with Keller Williams, and make your life easy.
Yes. So for those of you who just joined, we are talking about an app within Command, and you all can download it. It is free. It's called Porch. The app is called Porch, and it assists you to get quotes for any repairs that you might see on the home inspection. Now, you know what's great about it? You upload the home inspection. You need to get your client's permission first, but you upload that home inspection. Okay.
Correct.
So, all right. So any questions on that? Go ahead and type it in the chat, and we'll try to get that answered. For the brokers on this call, can you talk about, as far as timelines? Okay, so there is, if someone gets a seller's disclosure, right? The receipt is signed one date, let's say today. The buyer doesn't get it technically till tomorrow, right? When does the time period, let's say it's 10 days to review.
It cannot be received without the buyer getting it, because the buyer has to get it to sign the receipt. So that scenario can't happen. They have to receive it to sign the receipt. And when they sign the receipt, that is day 0. That starts their timeline.
Thank you, Michelle. So any contingency, when the buyer when the buyer receives it, is the date that we count it from, correct? Not when the agent sends it to the buyer's agent, it's when the buyer acknowledges.
Correct.
Nodding. Yes.
Yeah, because if you send it, the agent gets and doesn't transmit it for 2 days, you're going to know that, because when the buyer signs the acknowledgement of receipt, it's going to be the day they received it, or the day they opened it. They don't open it for 2 days. It'll still start on the day that they sign the acknowledgement. So it's important to be following up with that agent. Over to you yesterday. I don't have that yet. Sign it and send it back today. Prod people.
You're getting cut off, Michelle, and it's probably, the area that you're driving through, but this is important, everyone. So pay attention to those dates, to when it's received, because sellers understand that there are a lot of buyers out there. And if you fall out of contingency, where does that leave your buyer? So you really need to be on top of that transaction. Okay.
Teresa Short put in the chat box, is email sufficient for buyer's approval to use Porch? I would say yes.
The answer is yes, Teresa. Are there any questions regarding timeline dates and when the contingency dates start, when the clock starts? Because that's very important for us right now to be, vigilant in
2 things I want to add on that, Stacy. One is you must execute and address your contingencies on or before they're due. So if it's due by June 1, before June 1 is over at midnight, you must address that either by executing it and completing it, or negotiating an extension. And the extension must be signed by all parties and fully executed before midnight on the 1st. You can't do an extension to the date on the 2nd that was due on the 1st. You're no longer in contract. We have had sellers dump contracts in the last 30 days because an agent missed a contingency and thought, oh, well, I'll just get an extension. I'll just go back and ask for it. And the sellers got 3 backup offers. And they're like, yeah, no, you're out. I'm taking this one. That's now $10,000 more. We have liability to your buyer when you make a mistake of that nature, because it's our fault. We failed to meet our fiduciary responsibilities. So it's super important that it's done on or before your due date.
And coincidentally, we have a class today at 1 o'clock on contingencies. So please feel free to join us.
Man, I must.
Michelle, I have a question. I have a case where, you know, understand your, you know, the deadline and extensions and all that. I get that. However, in the real world, it sometimes becomes difficult. I have a case right now where the contingency expires at the end of today. I have not heard back from the seller on the repairs. I called them and asked them if we can sign an extension. I have not heard back from them. So my buyer doesn't really want to cancel, right? And today's his deadline. So I really don't have a solution if this, you know, the scenario that we're talking about here. I would like to know if the solution could be that the buyer submit a document that says buyer's approval of J1 is contingent upon the seller's agreement to do these repairs, right? And so then the deadline passes. I have this document that shows that the contingency is subject to.
You want to put a contingency on a contingency.
Well, the alternative doesn't look really good right now. The client doesn't want to cancel. He doesn't want to accept the condition, but because of the delay in the seller responding to us, he's going to be forced to cancel, basically what you're saying.
So what you should do is she could go back to the seller's agent and get an extension of time for the buyer to complete that contingency, be it J1 or whatever.
They're not responding to that. They're not giving me that option right now. The seller's not responding to that request.
Okay, so in that situation, you're going to be out of contract. Your client needs to approve based on the information they have, or cancel.
So you're saying that you cannot use an addendum that says buyer approves J1 contingent on seller's agreement to do these repairs and list it?
Yes, you can, but if the seller doesn't agree to do those repairs,
and the deal's canceled,
the deal's out.
All right.
Yeah.
You can do that though. That's fine.
Yeah, you can. It's just, it's risky, and I don't advise to do it that way. But in this unique situation where you have no other choices, you can do that. Oftentimes the buyers will just accept and move forward because the seller's not responsive and not communicating. You know, it's a unique situation, but yeah.
And if the seller just lets time run out, then that's their prerogative, because maybe they have a backup offer that's higher.
Yeah, they don't really do at this point. You know, they're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
a lot of sellers will do that intentionally, not respond because they want you to either accept with no concessions, or they want you to cancel out because they've got someone else in the wings.
That's right.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's happening a lot lately.
Yes, it is.
Here's the question. Does the seller have to tell the buyer that he or she has backup offers?
No, he doesn't. Because your contract, the only obligations are the obligations of the seller under the accepted purchase contract. Whatever the seller has accepted contingent to that contract canceling is not required to be disclosed to the subject buyer of contract 1.
Correct.
So we have one more question in that regard. Sorry. If you have multiple, if we have an existing acceptance and then we receive, you know, subsequent, or say we have multiple offers, and can we tell the parties when we have a full price offer or above full price? Can we tell them what that number is?
You can't ever tell them the number.
Even if it's over the asking price?
You can tell them that you have a full price or over full price with the consent of the seller, particularly if you're responding to multiple offers where you have highest and best, but you need the written consent of the seller. And I never advise a specific number. I have seen where the seller's consented to, we have a full price or we have an over full price. when they're going back for highest and best.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
That's very helpful. Thank you for asking that question, because as I
You
understand
can't, well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Stacy.
No, go
Dean,
ahead,
one of the reasons you would not disclose that price is you're undermining the buyer and the buyer's agent who brought you that offer, that first offer, be it full price or over full price. You're then using and leveraging that offer to get something better for your client, which is our responsibility, but it's not ethical. It's a violation of the code of ethics. So you need to be really careful on how you're doing that, because this person stepped up and they wrote. And we have ethical duties of fair dealing to all parties. That's under the code of ethics. So you can't leverage that earlier contract to gain a better contract by using specific numbers.
So is that a violation of the code of ethics?
If you give a specific number, yes, it is.
Dang it. I'm just kidding.
Would our sellers love us to do that all day long? You bet they would. But we have obligations to the other agents.
I take my job seriously, which is I represent a seller. You know, and to me, you know, my number one is representing the seller, not the agent for the other party. But I understand if it's a violation of the code of ethics, it's different. But I have no interest in protecting a buyer's agent. I have all interest in getting my client the best deal. That's what we paid for, right?
Yep. But it comes down to fair dealing. It's that's the item that we run into problems with.
Got it.
and then of course, being Keller Williams Realty Maui, all of our agents are so knowledgeable and so awesome at their job that we do get a lot of dual agencies. So this is important for all of us to understand where, what can we say? Who can we say it to? So be very mindful in your transactions, take it seriously, ask. If you have a question, if you're not sure, just ask. I appreciate Dean for asking those questions because it's happening to many of us right now.
Absolutely.
That's right. Buyers agents work hard too.
I got to jump off, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Appreciate you. Now, just to segue into the class today, these meetings, these company huddles, I really appreciate you guys coming on to these because we have so much information and it's important that we know what's going on right now as the market's going. And so we are here to inform, to help, to advise. You just have to ask, okay? So make sure you guys get on that class, contingency waivers and escrow class today at 1 o'clock. The link is in the chat. I don't have any other announcements except I believe that all of you have the ability and the knowledge because we help you to take the classes that you need to. We come from experience. All of us have, we haven't been perfect in the past. So we have all of our hard transactions that we can use, to help you along with yours. So don't be afraid to ask.
We've all failed forward.
That's right, Andee. Do I have any, is there anything else any other brokers wants to say or any other agents? You have a question? Keone, any announcements? Nope.
There is a Harp to Fripta class coming up with TG, title guarantee, that's free next week, Thursday. You have to sign up. That might be a good one for people to attend.
You did say Harpta Fripta?
Yeah.
Okay. So a class.
And then HAR is putting on a couple classes about the new rules for the eviction.
Oh, yes.
And the Paul Brubaker economist is in July. Look at the email that they sent on Friday.
Okay.
HAR. Those are also free.
And they're free. Right on, Keone. Thanks for that reminder. So everyone, go forth and prosper. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for coming by. Mahalo. Aloha. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.